Hello, everyone, and welcome back here to Comic Vantage. And as you can see by today's title, we are opening a 60 book random lot of Ultraverse comics. Yes, that is correct. We are opening all. It's actually been a while since I've done one of these random unboxings. These used to be like my most popular videos that I've made. It's probably been a few years since I've done one of these. Uh, so a little backstory. These are Ultraverse comics. Now, for some of our younger viewers or people who didn't read Ultraverse back in the day, Ultraverse was a shared universe that was created by Malibu Comics in the 90s. Now, you gotta understand, during the 90s, comic books were kind of sort of going through this, I want to say, a golden age where they were just all over the place. Artists were treated like rock stars, books were selling millions of copies. It was just absolutely insane. Malibu Comics wanted a little piece of that, so they created their own shared universe called Ultraverse. And what I mean by shared universe is kind of like, Marvel Comics is a shared universe. DC is a shared universe where every single hero exists in the same world and they can all affect each other's storylines. Well, Malibu wanted a piece of that, and that's where this comes into play. Now, I'm going to start opening these up here because we're going to have a lot to go through. Like I said, we got 60 books in there. Now, with that being said, a lot of you out there are probably wondering, why do I even care about Ultraverse? Nobody reads it, nobody cares, nobody. You know what? I love Ultraverse. I have a huge, huge, giant soft spot for them. Not only because I read them back in the day, but I started thinking about this recently. Why I love Ultraverse so much, and I have a feeling I'm not alone in this, and that's because I was there at the beginning. In the 90s, when I really started kicking into my reading and collecting comic books, it was probably the mid 90s. I was like 17 years old or so. Ultraverse was just first getting started. By the time I started reading, X-Men had been around for, 30 years or whatever it was. Spider-Man had been around for forever. Superman, Batman. I never felt like they were mine because they had already been there. But with Ultraverse, Ultraverse was mine because I started reading it from day one and absolutely loved it. It had great story, great artists, and at the time it wasn't part of the comic. The Malibu Comics didn't adhere to the Comics Code Authority, so some of the stories got a little gritty and a bit dark for the time. Even by today's standards, they are a bit dark. I started rereading some of these from my personal collection, and wow, these are actually still really good. So, that's what I got to say about Malibu and Ultraverse. Now you're probably wondering, why isn't it so around if it was so good? I honestly, there was just a crash in the 90s. People stopped reading and stopped collecting. I think there was a lot of burnout because there were so many books and people were buying everything under the sun. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. These look like they are in the original bags and boards that they came in back in the 90s. After Malibu crashed, they decided to sell off the company, and Marvel Comics bought them. And Marvel Comics did a few books, maybe for like a year or so, where they did crossovers with like Nightman and Wolverine. Juggernaut was leading the Exiles. And a lot of people speculate, why did Marvel buy this company if they had no intentions on doing anything with it? A lot of people are like, oh, it's because they had great coloring and they wanted their coloring department. That's the big rumor that flies around. Completely untrue. If Marvel wanted a great coloring department, they would just poach their talent. They wouldn't have bought a company just for the coloring department. Really, what it boils down to is they bought the company because they did not want DC buying it. That was it. That's plain and simple. They just didn't want DC getting a hold of the properties to give them a leg up, so to speak. And then, when you buy a company like that and you have their trademarks, you have to actually do something with the trademarks to prove to the trademark company you're able to own them and actually do something with them. So they put out comics under the trademark for about a year or so and then quietly folded the company. And then about 10 years ago, they actually just let the trademarks lapse. No one owns them. I could actually, let's see, what's the first book here? Prime. I could go to the trademark department and I could Oh, wow, yeah, I'm actually skipping ahead here. And I could buy the trademark for Prime. The only trademark I cannot buy is Ultraverse. Some random guy bought the Ultraverse trademark to put it on a board game. Not even anything to do with comic books. I don't think he knew what he was buying. All right, anyway, Prime. Yes, this is actually an awesome start. I love to talk, guys, especially when it comes to comic books I'm passionate about. And Ultraverse is one thing I am very passionate about. Okay. So we got Prime issue number 10, guest starring Firearm. Now, most of the Ultraverse comics I did get a chance to read. Actually, maybe it's a little over a half or so that I've read. I'm still going through a lot of them trying to catch up. It looks like we have a whole run here. As we have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Yeah, look at this. Issue number 4, issue number 3, 2 with the trading card. Why they put it in the front to leave a nice imprint. I gotta check this book now. Now, like I said, I own a short box of Ultraverse comics, which is pretty much like every Ultraverse comic ever printed. Yep, totally left an imprint. Lovely. So some of you out there might be wondering why I am buying these. Well, I tell you why I'm buying these. I'm buying these to put into Season 28's mystery boxes. I am tired of Ultraverse not getting any love. So these are going to be my filler books. Or not every single book is going to be an Ultraverse, but a few of them are going to have, at least an issue or two of Ultraverse included as the filler. Now, none of these books are really worth any kind of money, except almost every single first issue has a foil variant, which has a foil stamp down here giving you the print run and then the foil logo. The foil variants, depending on the book, will sell about 15 to 25 bucks a piece. And then there are hologram covers, the full hologram cover books. Those books range from 25 to 50, depending on the cover. And I bought a bunch of those to go into the boxes as well. I don't want people just to have, filler here and there. I want some good books for you guys to get as well. Oh, Prime. Now, this Prime is probably one of the best reads for Ultraverse. Even for the day, this character is like a caricature of a superhero. And once you read the book, you understand why. This is one of the best reads. You really, really should pick it up. I want to say I have 5 or 6 issues of Prime number 1 that I'm going to be putting into the boxes because I really, 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 really love this book and I want everybody to read it. I'm going to start that over. You know what? I'm just going to pop up Prime back there so everybody can just chill with him for the show. All right, let's see what else we got. Ultraverse Origins, issue number 1, and only 99 cents. I guess this is origin backstories. I do love the whole origin stories of a lot of the superheroes. Sludge. Yeah, this guy is actually made of toxic sludge from the bottom of a river. And we have issue number 2 and issue number 1. Maybe if I could... The issue pops up. Now, the whole thing for Ultraverse comics, Lord Pumpkin, this is one of the darker issues as well. Lord Pumpkin is one of the main villains. And it's issue number 0. This actually has an approved by the Comics Code Authority sticker. This must have been after Marvel took over the company. The whole Ultraverse Origins thing. Yeah, see, here's another Lord Pumpkin, issue number 0. No Comic Code Authority on that. Such amazing artwork. They really had some great, this was Aaron Lopresti, some of his early work on this book. Like I said, the only ones that really aren't worth too much, that are any of the normal issues really aren't worth a lot, but I have a feeling Ultra Force is going to start taking off, and that's because it's George Perez on that book. All right, we got Mantra, issue number 4. This was Terry Dodson, too, hopping in on this. Issue number 3. And issue number 1. Too bad there's no issue number 2. Don't have a run. Oh, we have 2 copies of issue number 1 with the trading cards included. So that's awesome. Like I said again, this is Terry Dodson. Everybody knows Terry Dodson. Yeah, the whole premise behind the Ultraverse was there was a trolley car in San Francisco, and it gets struck by this bolt of energy, and they called it the Kickstart. And everybody on this train car developed powers, and the train car was packed, which is pretty cool. There are a few heroes that popped up that do not have powers from the Kickstart, and we'll actually get into those. Freaks, issue number 6. This is one of the superhero teams. Number 5. Yeah, looks like we got some decent runs here. I'm happy about that. 4. Issue number 3. 1, 2, 3. And issue number 1 with the trading card and the number 0 mailing coupon. Oh, I always loved seeing this one. The Black Bag Solitaire. Also with Solitaire trading card inside. Yeah, these are all still polybagged. Whoever bought these back in the day did not open them, which is really cool. Awesome. Love that. And then we have The Solution, issue number 3. Issue number 2. And issue number 1. I love that. Some dynamic artwork on that. Like I said, Ultraverse had some great artists working for them at the time. And a lot of young, hot, up-and-coming artists like Dodson, Lopresti. Man, it's so cool. And of course, Barry Windsor Smith. Hey, we have another one of those. This is bagged, though, with the card. There we go. Now we're getting into the Barry Windsor Smith stuff. Oh, man, I loved Rune. Rune is one of the few that popped up in the Ultraverse that didn't get his powers from the Kickstart. He's like an ancient vampire. All right, issue number 8. Issue number 7. 6. Man, look at that artwork. Barry Windsor Smith is just amazing. God, look at the colors on that. Totally reminds me of the Weapon X story or Conan. So good. I love that man's artwork. And then issue number 5. Issue number 4. At 3. Yeah, looks like we're getting a full run here. And I'm getting a little weighted down. I'm going to put those over there. Issue number 2. And, come on, another issue number 2. And there it is, issue number 1. We got a run. Oh, so awesome. Let's see what else we got now. All right, let's see what's next. Hey, another Rune, issue number 1. You never have too many runes. Oh, here we go. Ultraverse Curse of Rune. And this is Kyle Hott's artwork. And here he is again with issue number 1. As we can see, we start getting barcodes on the front. This is after Marvel took over as well. Beautiful. Kyle Hotz is really, really hot lately, doing a lot of variant covers for different companies. And we have another Curse of Rune, issue number 1. And I'm going to knock my camera over there, people. Sorry about that. And I am going to leave that in so everybody can see. Look at that. So we have 2 different issue number 1s, and they were connecting covers. That is awesome. Adam Warlock's Soul Gem haunts the Ultraverse. Oh, that must be the Soul Gem in his forehead. Definitely after Marvel took over. Ultraverse, Rune, and the Silver Surfer crossover. Yep, Rune, Silver Surfer. Like I said, they did a lot of crossovers after Marvel took over. Still, it's a beautiful cover. Barry Windsor Smith again. Giant size Rune, issue number 1, 40 pages. That's it for Rune? Yep, I believe so. Here we go. See what else we got. The Sludge Red Christmas, issue number 1. I don't think I've ever read that. There we go. Nightman, issue number 1. Nightman was kind of the Ultraverse's answer to Batman. And he didn't get his powers from the Kickstart. He developed his powers kind of like on the outside of the Kickstart. When the Kickstart happened, he got into a car accident at the same time. A piece of shrapnel embedded in his head and let him hear the thoughts of evil people. Kind of a neat idea. So, you know, like I said, it was the 90s. Prototype, issue number 4. Now you can't have a shared universe without a guy in a powered suit. This was sort of their answer to Iron Man. Prototype. Awesome cover there. Always loved that cover. You know, I always liked those guys that were kind of in the powered suits. Because they were, you know, they could think their way out of almost anything, which was really cool. We have Hardcase. This was another hero. He was powered up before the Kickstart, or the Jump Start, I think they called it. Sorry, my mistake. And he was a movie action star. Yeah. Yeah. So he was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look at that. But not really. Nice. Got a nice little run of Hardcase. And then we have Exiles, which was another awesome little superhero team that we had. The Exiles, after Marvel took over, it ended up being led by the Juggernaut, which is kind of crazy. There you go. Exiles number 2. There is an awesome hologram cover for Exiles. I can't wait to get that in and put it in the boxes for you guys. Yeah, we're getting to the end here. The Strangers, and I'm not seeing any Ultra Force. Strangers issue number 1. Look at that. This is Rick Hoberg artwork. So cool. Man, that guy's a good artist. Another Strangers, issue number 1. Oh, look at that. That bag is beautiful. Okay, now, I don't want to get on the whole subject comic book bags here, but look at this. See how kind of faded and yellow and not transparent that is? This is a poly bag, polyethylene, I believe it is. This is what normal bags are made out of for comic books nowadays, all right? This is an OPP bag. Look how clear that still is. After 20, 30 years, whatever it is, 1993, the guy who sold these said he bagged them and then that was it. Put them in his collection. Never looked at them again. These are the kind of bags the Comic Vantage sells. There you go. All right. Oh, another one. More Strangers. And then we have Firearm. I believe Firearm was just a hired mercenary, if I'm not mistaken. Now we got Firearm issue number 2 and Firearm issue number 1. This is one of the few series I haven't read. I'm going to have to get around to that. All right, guys. Ultraverse. It was actually a lot of fun going down memory lane there. Got to talk a lot about really cool Ultraverse comics. Got to show you some of the books that are going to be going into the mystery boxes for filler. Like I said, these books here, I really want you guys to read them when you get them in the mystery boxes. I love them, and I want you to love them too. I'm all about a good story, and that's really what these are. Especially Prime. I want to sit down and I want to read the entire run of Prime. I don't think I've read the whole thing straight through. And I want to do a synopsis or just a, I don't know, like a retro kind of review sort of thing there for the whole run. Because it's just that good. Well, I'm going to leave it there while I say goodbye, everyone. So, we had our coffee. We had our laughs. I gave you some information, drop some knowledge on you. And hopefully I got you guys excited about something you haven't seen before. Or if you did know about Ultraverse, or heard of it and never actually read it, I hope I got you excited, because, like I said, I have a lot of passion and love for some of this stuff, and this is one of those things. To my current subscribers, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Love you all. Leave me comments. Let me know what you think of all this. If you're not subscribed, hit the little CV right there. Get the little bell up top. You know what to do. To my channel members, your names are scrolling with a huge thank you. Love you guys too. And like always, thank you so much for watching, and take it easy.